Mark 16 recounts the resurrection of Jesus. The women go to his tomb and find it empty. An angel announces that Jesus has risen from the dead, and the disciples are told to meet him in Galilee. The chapter emphasizes new life, mission, and belief, concluding the Gospel's message of Jesus as the Son of God who conquers death. Note: some ancient manuscripts of Mark end at verse 8. Verses 9 through 20 are considered a longer ending added later by early Christians to reflect post-resurrection appearances found in other Gospels. Some of the earliest manuscripts end here, with the women's fear and silence. Scholars debate whether this abrupt ending was intentional, to provoke readers to respond, or if the original ending was lost. The longer ending verses 9 through 20 are found in many Bibles, but noted with footnotes or brackets. In verses 1 through 8 we have the narrative of the empty tomb on the third day. Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, and Salome go to Jesus' tomb early on Sunday morning to anoint his body. They wonder how they will roll the stone away, but find it already moved. Inside they see a young man in a white robe, an angel. "Do not be alarmed, you are looking for Jesus. He has risen. He is not here. Go, tell his disciples and Peter, he is going ahead of you into Galilee." The women flee from the tomb, trembling and afraid, and initially say nothing to anyone. This account can also be found in Matthew chapter 27, Luke chapter 24, and John chapter 20. The key message is that the resurrection brings amazement, awe, and a challenge to respond in faith. In verses 9 through 13, Jesus appears 2 separate times before he appears to all the disciples together. Mary Magdalene went to tell the morning disciples that Jesus had risen, but they do not believe her. After that, Jesus appears in a different form to 2 men walking in the country. They report it to the rest of the disciples, but again, they do not believe. This account can be found in Luke chapter 24 and John chapter 20. The key message is that Jesus' followers still did not fully understand his plan for resurrection and redemption. In verses 14 through 18, Jesus appears to the 11 all together. Jesus rebukes them for their unbelief and hardness of heart. He commissions them by saying, "Go into all the world and preach the gospel to all creation." He confirms that whoever believes in him and is baptized will be saved. He stated the signs and miracles that will accompany those who believe in him. This account can be found in Matthew chapter 28, Luke chapter 24, and John chapter 20. The key message is that Jesus commissions all of us to preach the good news. In verses 19 and 20 we have the ascension of Jesus into heaven. Jesus is taken up into heaven and sits at the right hand of God. The disciples go out and preach, and the Lord works with them, confirming the word with signs. The key message is that Jesus goes to be with God and his mission continues through his followers, empowered by his presence. This account can be found in Luke chapter 24. There are 4 key themes in Mark chapter 16. 1. Resurrection. Jesus is alive, defeating death and validating everything he taught. 2. A call to faith. Repeated doubt from the disciples highlights the challenge to believe. 3. The Great Commission. The risen Christ sends his followers to spread the gospel to all nations. 4. Divine authority. Jesus ascends to reign at God's right hand. Mark chapter 16 records the resurrection of Jesus, beginning with women discovering the empty tomb and hearing the angelic announcement that he has risen. Fear and amazement initially overwhelm them, highlighting the shock of the moment. The chapter then emphasizes Jesus' appearances to his followers, his rebuke of their unbelief, and his commission for them to proclaim the gospel to all creation. It concludes with the promise of divine confirmation through signs accompanying believers and with Jesus' ascension, as the disciples go out preaching while the Lord works with them, affirming the victory of resurrection and the continuation of his mission. Jesus' crucifixion and resurrection are the crowning moments of his ministry. How do these 2 events shape your faith? What does Jesus' victory over death mean for your daily life and eternal hope? Are you living out the Great Commission that Jesus gave to all believers, to share the gospel in word and action?